All right, everyone, thanks for joining me today. Okay, so let's talk about the development that's going on right now in Haiti as it relates to Kenya. So the first cohort of Kenyan police arrived in Haiti last week. This would be as a result of the decision that Kenya's current president made to send citizens of Kenya, police force from Kenya, to go to Haiti and go and meddle in their situation over there, even while he's having issues, rioting, going on in his country. Currently, right now in Kenya, there are calls, growing calls for the president to resign, to step down. So that is a major development going on right now in Kenya as a result of the tax hike, right, which has since been withdrawn. But the citizens of Kenya are still protesting, and they want their president out of it because he's made a total mess of the country, made wrong decisions that have led the country in a horrible direction, and has caused a lot of financial burden, a lot of economic bad economic situation, and it has been really bad. So the citizens of Kenya, especially the young men and women, the Gen Zs, are protesting, and now they're calling for his resignation. That is what's going on in Kenya. One of the decisions that he made, which were one of those bad decisions that he's made since he's been president, was also volunteering his own countrymen, police force, to go to Haiti, to go and police the situation over there, to go meddle in their situation. So I want to discuss that because that is a new development that's not happened as a result of Kenyan police in Haiti right now, patrolling the streets of Haiti. Can you imagine that? Imagine you in your own country, right? Waking up, if you're Haitian, and all you're seeing is the tanks and patrols of Kenyans in your country. Okay, so now what we're hearing now is Jimmy Cherizier, aka Barbecue, who is the leader of the gang in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, where this whole situation has been going on for a couple of years now. There's been rioting, there's been killings, there's been a lot of things going on in Haiti. So that gang leader now, seeing the presence of Kenyans in his country, has now vowed to take revenge out on Kenyans. He's now vowed. He says it's going to be bloodbath. That's how he puts it. I want you to take a look at this reporting from Al Jazeera, and I'll be right back.
Haiti's most visible gang leader, Jimmy Barbecue Cherizier, responding to the first cohort of Kenyan police arriving in the country. He's not happy. Here are Kenyans, shoot them, he's saying to his men. Haiti's been largely lawless for years. Gangs who rape, murder, rob and extort are all powerful. Previously at war, they formed an alliance called Vivre Ensemble, Live Together, aimed against the new force which threatens their control. The Kenyan police will later be joined by more officers and soldiers from other countries to form a 2,500 strong force. It's estimated that the gangs can count on far more fighters, albeit with little training or discipline. Cherizier warns of a bloodbath.
It's a fight for us, a fight for the country, and we'll fight for it. Even if I die, I'm sure that there'll be successors and there'll be other people who will continue this fight.
Haitians that Al Jazeera talked to want a change and safety, but are sceptical the force can provide it.
We have police and military that are specialised to fight the gangs. Why are they not deployed? I give the Kenyan force until August to start solving the problem. Otherwise, they're just here for the money.
But with an estimated 80% of the capital under gang control, they agree something had to be done. So did the international community. The United States pushed for the force. The United Nations backed it. Now Haiti's interim Prime Minister has welcomed it.
The people of Kenya have heard the cries and sufferings of the Haitian people, and they are here in a spirit of solidarity with our police.
He says the force will get to work soon.
The first contingent has been mobilised and is solidly in place to accompany and support Haitian strategies to regain our security, house by house, neighbourhood by neighbourhood, town by town.
Cherizier did talk to Al Jazeera about negotiation, not just battle.
Many people think we're afraid and that we're asking for forgiveness when we're asking for dialogue. So I think today people with military training, even if you are in the middle of fighting, you should have an open door to dialogue.
But in order to lay down their weapons, gang leaders have said they want amnesty and a seat at the table over the country's future. After the crimes they've committed, lives they've ended or damaged, that will be too much for many Haitians to swallow. John Holman, Al Jazeera.
Okay, so let's talk about this, because this is exactly what I talked about in my last video. And in terms of the conflict that this decision to send police force to another country was going to have on Black people. Kenyans, most especially, are going to be in the receiving hand of the animosity that is perhaps going to come out of Haiti against them because of the decision that the president made. Haiti is no stranger to invaders. This is a country who is poor today. It has been as a result of foreign invaders who have come from other countries to invade their country, and they won't leave them alone. Ever since that country gained their independence in 1804, they've been fighting one invader after the other. It was the French, France, whom they got their independence from. The slaves in the early 1700s fought against their oppressors, fought against their slave masters, and won their freedom in the revolution, the Haitian Revolution, which got them their freedom in 1804. But that would not come without a price. They've been paying price ever since then. France imposed a financial indemnity against them, which took them over 100 years to pay back. And then the United States came in, right, in 1915 and invaded them all the way to 1934, occupied them for 19 years. And then we know the Dominican Republic also invaded and occupied Haiti. So this is a country who has seen nothing but foreigners coming to the country to meddle in their country, to disrupt their way of life, to rob them of their resources, and have kept that place poor. And so when you see Barbecue saying that he's going to push back and he's going to take his attack out on Kenyans because he sees Kenyans as invaders, you can kind of see where he's coming from with that. Now, the gangs in Haiti, there's a history behind the gangs. The gangs are very distrustful of the government. They don't trust their government. It's a history that goes way back. The gangs were formed as a result of rebelling against the military-industrial complex in Haiti, which once was a thing that was a pride, because out of the Haitian rebellion, the military was formed out of that whole Haitian rebellion. Over the years, dictators who have been puppets to the West have corrupted the military-industrial complex and have weaponized that against the Haitian people. So, over the years, the gangs that we see today, which right now nobody knows what they stand for, but at the time, they were rebelling against the brutality from the military-industrial complex, which was weaponized against the citizens of Haiti by their presidents and leaders back in the days, which they stood for something. And so the whole thing was just to stand with the common man against the government. That was what their gangs was all about. But they've evolved into so many things, and right now nobody knows what their cause is, right? I can't even defend the gangs in Haiti today. I know what they stood for in the past. I know what their mission was. I understood what their revolution was. But right now they've become something that nobody knows what the gang represents. What we see is rape, violence, destruction of the community. Nobody really knows. So I'm not here to defend the gang in Haiti. When you hear Jimmy Cherizier talk, barbecue, he'll tell you that they're still fighting for the common man. They're still fighting for the people of Haiti. They're still fighting the invaders. They're still fighting foreigners. That's what he'll tell you. But then you hear the stories, how he's now a terrorist against his own people. So nobody knows. So here comes Kenyans. Another line of, foreign invaders who this country has seen over the years. Now, what's different about this is that over the years, the invaders over the years have been nothing but Europeans and Westerners. French, right? United States. You can add, obviously, Dominican Republics, who are obviously, neighboring country to Haiti. There's a huge animosity against them. I can understand why they invaded, because Haiti invaded them at first, and so they invaded back. So I can understand that battle. But when you look at the likes of United States and France, these ones have come in to rob that country over the years. And so when you're seeing Kenyans now evolve themselves, right? And Kenyans are not doing it because they chose to, by the way. The president volunteered his own citizens to go and fight in other people's situation that was not their business. And Kenyans oppose this, vehemently oppose this whole thing. It's one of the reasons why they're also asking him to leave. It's one of the reasons why the protest has gone beyond just the tax hike. The people want him to go because he's making such bad decisions that is causing the country either financial pain and suffering and pushing the country in the wrong direction. Because no Kenyan wants to go fight a fight that is not in their business. No Kenyan wants to go meddle in other countries when they have their own issues. There's poverty in Kenya. There is insecurity in Kenya. They have not figured out their own situation. Now you've divided your forces. You've split your armed forces, your police troops, right? Which should be protecting your citizens and keeping law and order in your country. You split that up and you've sent them over because your president took money from the United States to go do their dirty work. See, when the U.S. left Haiti back in 1934, they still meddled in that country. They were part of the coups that occurred in that country. They came back in 1994 to reinstate Jean-Bertrand Aristide back into position. They were meddling in that country. They always had their hands in that country to cause conflict and destabilize the government in that country. In order not to have their face out there, they look for a puppet. In this case, Kenyan president, right? William Ruto, to now go ahead and cause more conflict between black people. So they're just the string masters behind the puppet. And so now Kenyans and Haitians are going to now have an animosity, because when you're seeing in your country, regardless of how, whatever you think about these gangs, it's a country. It's a country. And they all know their history. They know the history in their country. They know how they've had foreigners come into their country. Now they're seeing Kenyans. So what do you think? Think about it for a second. Think about if you are a Haitian who is aware of your history. You may not agree with the gangs of today and what they stand for, but nonetheless, you are aware that you grew up in a country where your parents, your grandparents, your parents, and the great-grandparents told you about all the invasion that has occurred in that country as a result of foreigners. You lived through some of that, perhaps. Now think about when you now see Kenyans in your country, right? Forget the police force. If you just see a Kenyan visiting your country and you realize that he's a Kenyan, knowing fully well that they now are the new invaders in your country, how do you think you're going to relate to that Kenyan? Think about it for a second. Let's be logical about this, right? This is your house. Somebody comes to invade your country. They have tanks, right? They have tanks parading the streets in your country. Talk about they coming to keep law and order in their country, right? Think about that. If you saw a Kenyan in your country I can almost guarantee you that the president of Kenya has now put his citizens in harm's way. As a result of this thing, Kenyans didn't ask for this. Kenyans didn't vote for this. But because he's doing the dirty work of Western people whom he got paid and took money from, he's now created a conflict between two black nations, Haitians and Kenyans. Long after William Ruto is gone, this animosity will still linger. There's going to be this animosity. Now he has seared Kenya into history with Haitians as a result of this thing. As a result of this thing, innocent Kenyans who have nothing to do with this are going to now go to Haiti in the future. And they perhaps going to have to watch themselves because there's obviously going to be an animosity against them by Haitians who are today witnessing their police force in their country because of this president. Because of this president, William Ruto. Talk about black on black crime. This is how they've always painted us against each other. That's how they've always painted us against each other. So now he's doing the dirty work of the West because he took money. When he's got issues in this country, setting a conflict against two black nations. When we are trying to heal the black race, when the black race is trying to unite as much as possible, you're finding an African leader in Africa, East Africa, who takes it upon himself to create more conflicts against black people. So now, Barbecue says it's going to be bloodbath. He says it's going to be bloodbath. So Kenyans are now going to be in harm's way. Their police officers, their citizens are going to go there to go die in Haiti. Why? Why? What's this got to do with Kenyans? Why? And that is a question. And that is a question. You can kind of see why the young men and women in Haiti, in Kenya, are asking for him to be out of there. In just less than 2 years, this president has caused more damage to Kenya than most people give credit to this. He's caused a huge damage to both the citizens and the country. Because this is not the kind of conflict that we should be engaging in. Right? This is not the kind of conflict. Because I don't see how this was going to benefit Kenya. I don't see it. If you please leave it in the chat or in the comment section. I don't see how this move benefits Kenyans economically, politically, socially. I don't see how that does. It only benefits one man who took money, and the country is economically bankrupt. So where'd that money go? Where did it go? That's the problem here. That is a problem. And I think what we're going to see over the next week as it relates to this development in Haiti right now is one that I can't even speak of, and I don't want to speak of it. Because what do we expect is going to happen? What? If I'm a Kenyan today, I'll be worried about this. If I'm a Kenyan today, I'll be worried about this. It's one thing to go meddle in other countries and go in there and put your nose where it doesn't belong. It's one thing. It's bad enough. It's another thing. What you now represent to that country. That's, to me, is the part that's even more troubling than anything else. It's what you now represent to Haitians. Right? That's what you now represent. And I know Kenyans don't support this. I know that. I know they don't. There's overwhelming calls and talk that they don't support this stuff. But this president, unilateral, made a decision. And so I pray that this does not develop to a black on black violence thing. Because that's what they love. That's what the West and Europe and all this, that's what they love. That's why they use him. They want to see us fight. Because if we're fighting each other, we're not developing. If we're fighting each other, we're not growing. If we're fighting each other, we're not building as a people. This is exactly how they've kept us bound for years. And because Haiti was the one country that abolished slavery, the first country to abolish slavery, the first country, right? The first black people who were slaves and won their freedom. These Europeans and white people will never let it go. They have it in for that country. They've always had it in for those people. And I've said it in my past video that every black person on the earth, on the planet, owe Haitians a debt of gratitude. Every black person on the planet, especially if you are a descendant of slaves, you owe Haitians a debt of gratitude. I understand that what we're seeing in Haiti right now is not something that we all are proud of. But our country was the one that gave black people the pride and the confidence to stand against the oppressors. And here we are in 2024, an African country whom their ancestors were stolen from, right? Whom a lot of their ancestors came from, now coming to their country to invade their country. So, I can only pray that we as black people are never used, right, to create proxy wars against one another. Because this is a sad thing. This really is a sad situation. That you have an African president who is now fighting a proxy war on behalf of the West and Europe against people that look like him. It's a sad situation. It really is a sad situation. But he's got a judgment, a day of judgment upon him right now because his people are calling for him to be out of there. These people are calling for him to be out of there. And I echo the same sentiment for his people. He needs to be out of there. Any human being, any man, any president that causes conflict between Africans or black people at the detriment of black people, talk about you shouldn't be leading us. You should not. You're not fit to lead us. Any person, so-called leader, who takes money from our oppressors, those who enslaved us in the past, those who have caused our demise, those who will continue to cause our demise, to do their bit to cause and keep conflict between black people at the detriment of black people, is not fit to lead us. Such person needs to go. And so I echo that hashtag Ruto must go. Because he's done nothing but damage the reputation of black people all over the world. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please like the video, share the content, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time.
Nu vill jag kunna ge tillbaka allt jag inte kunnat ge förut. Det finns ingen annan där som kan stå här by my side, oh why. Sättet du rör på det får mig att dö för dig baby. För de här yardis, De vill ju bara dra ner oss, men du är fett och vanlig. Och det jag lägger all min tid, jag vill ha dig nu. Du får mig känna sig